Hey everybody, comic book hangover. Couple of days late. Let me tell you something. This has been an interesting week. So Wednesday, when new books came out, we had a huge snowstorm. It was my fiance's birthday. So after we got our books and did our running around, we went out. Despite the weather, we had a great night to celebrate her birthday. That was awesome. Thursday, when I normally do these videos and have them posted, the starter went out on my car. We had a lot of running to do, so I was able to borrow my dad's truck. We had just started our run around to get our things taken care of when his passenger back tire went completely flat. So while my car is getting worked on, I had to wait for a tow truck to come to take the truck to a place to get the tire fixed. It was a big whole ordeal. And then yesterday, one of our cats is not doing the best right now. So yesterday we had still running to do. Had to take the cat to the vet. It's just been an insane couple of days. But here we are, a few days late. But I did get some books this week, and I still want to share them with everybody, and just do some comic book stuff. Get all that nastiness from the week, from Thursday and Friday, out of the way. So let's get into this. All right. So first off, as I've been doing these last couple of weeks, reprints. I love these Marvel and DC reprints. They're getting better and better. Although I noticed that in the new previews magazine for books coming out in April now. There's no True Believers books listed, which is kind of weird. But it's not. It isn't the first time they've taken a month off. Unfortunately, it seems like lately the True Believers have been tied into Marvel events. And if they don't have a major event, then they don't really seem to want to do True Believers, which I think is kind of a lame thing to do. We've got so many great classic Marvel books that should be reprinted, and Marvel should be doing them, regardless if they're a tie into an event or not. But that aside, from Marvel and DC, grabbed a couple of facsimile editions. Flash number 123, which you got to admit has always been one of my favorite Flash covers. I'm not a Flash fan at all, but this has always been one of my favorite covers. It's also been one of the books I've always been curious about. This cover's always intrigued me, so I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will be reading this one as well, because this is a story, this is an issue I've always wanted to read. But I grabbed that, and from Marvel, the facsimile reprint of Wolverine number 1. This is the miniseries, I believe, the first Wolverine solo book. I used to have this, but I've never really been a big Wolverine fan. I had most of this miniseries. I had the first issue of his first ongoing series. I wound up selling them off. Hindsight being 2020, I figured it might be books that I should have in my collection to some extent. So as I happen to luck out, Marvel's doing facsimile editions for them, so I have them. It's not originals, but I'm not one of those people that have to have originals. If I've got a reprint, I'm totally happy with a reprint. So moving on to the dollar reprints from DC, we've got the Flash number 1. This is the 1980s, 87. I want to say, wasn't quite sure what the big deal is, why this one was being reprinted, but this is the second volume for the Flash, so it's volume 2, number 1. It's also the first time the Flash Wally West had a series, so kind of an important one. Also, again, a really sweet cover. There's a lot of DC covers that I didn't really care for, but there are some that I do really like, and oddly enough, this is another one that I really like that cover. From Marvel, True Believers, Iron Man. This is a reprint of Iron Man number 118. First appearance of Rhodey, who later becomes War Machine, so cool. Also another great classic cover. Moving on to the non-reprint books that I grabbed this week, as I set these aside. One Shot, Laurel and Hardy, Three Stooges crossover. This was a lot of fun. I think it could have been a little bit funnier. The setup was enough to where they could have had a lot of really great comedic moments, but they did have some. Don't get me wrong, and it was kind of cool seeing Laurel and Hardy conversate with the Three Stooges. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. If they do another one, I'm definitely on board for it. And hopefully, if they do another one, they have a better understanding of how these characters can interact with each other. So it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't as good as the solo books for these guys that American Mythology does, but it's a good start. So if they were to do another one, I'm definitely going to be on board for it. Moving on, Basket Full of Heads, number 5 of 7. I'm really digging the pacing of this book. A lot of people I've heard aren't really too keen on this one or Joe Hill's other book, Plunge, because they're slow. They're sort of slow burns, but that's what I like. There was a book that came out last year. I want to say last year. I think Cullen Bunn wrote it. Cold Spots. Slow burn book. Really good. I love the pacing of it. I love the pacing of this one. It is starting to ramp up. It's got suspense. It's got thrills. It has a kick-ass gal in it. And this is something, if they were to make this into a movie, I would definitely be on board for it. This is a great series, so I do recommend it. If you're looking for, if you like your horror books to be sort of slow burn, if you like to have that simmer before the boil, this is definitely a series for you. Also, Plunge. Check out Plunge. Great stuff. Peter Porker, Spectacular Spider-Ham, number 3. That's a Spider-Ham book. Really nothing too spectacular. They're kind of going a little overboard with the whole meta concept of Spider-Ham. It's still fun. We finally found out who the villain is in the book. It's Kang/Kangaroo. So I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. It's nothing really spectacular. It's not amazing. It's not unlimited or $20.99 or web. It's a spider book, but it's fun. It's fun. Boom Studios. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, number 48. This is the return of the Spider Slayer, Kimberly, from an alternate universe with Lord Draken. And she doesn't want to be called Spider Slayer anymore, or Spider Slayer. She doesn't want to be called Ranger Slayer anymore. She wants to have a new name. I really don't care what name she takes. She's a kick-ass character. I really like her. I would like to have her, because I remember a couple of years ago, Boom did a miniseries with Kimberly, the mainline Kimberly, sort of showing what happened to her, I guess, after she left the Power Rangers, I guess before this all happened. But I would like to have a miniseries with this one, too. This is a really fascinating character. So I got this issue. I also, of course, got the silver foil variant, which happens to have Rita in the visor, which is really awesome. So far, so good. I'm getting all these books. Ghost Rider number 5. This has been called Hearts of Darkness 2, but we already have Hearts of Darkness 2, so I'm referring to this as Hearts of Darkness 3. It's Dan Ketch, no longer Ghost Rider, Wolverine and Punisher getting together. You've also got Blackheart. You see him in the background there. All these pieces are starting to come together. Mephisto's dropping some hints, which may or may not be true, but it's beginning to look like we're going to have we're doing a lead into a major Ghost Rider event, which is going to involve the different variations of Hell in the Marvel Universe. So I don't know how many players are going to be involved with this, but this is going to be something big. I have a feeling it's going to be something big, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I also picked this one up. I don't know. It was there. I had it on my list. Whatever, I got it. So those are the books. Just kidding. Really, there's not much more that can be said about this book. Everybody knows what it is. It's one of the hottest books. Actually, it is the hottest book on the market right now. People are going absolutely insane about it. Actually, while I was at my LCS, he had gotten a couple of calls from people asking if he still had this one available, and he did not. So this is a great moment for comics fans. If you are interested in books like this, get a pull list at your local comic shop. Get a pull list, put these books on your list. There's Diamond Previews magazines and catalogs that come out that give you the books that are coming out months down the road, so you have time to plan ahead. This is the reason why you want to do this. When I saw this cover, I liked this cover, so I put this on my pull list months ago. Found out that Punchline was going to be in it, so I double-checked and made sure that I had this on my pull list. I did, so I knew I was going to get it. I was guaranteed to get it. Those of you out there who missed out on the book, you didn't have it on a pull list. So if you're getting mad at your LCS for not having them, or if you're getting mad at your LCS for selling them at a higher cost because you want to buy them, especially for those of you who want to buy them so you can put them on eBay and flip them, if you're getting mad at your LCS for doing that, you're in the wrong. I'm sorry to say, you're absolutely in the wrong. If you did not have this book pre-ordered, it is your own fault for not getting it. It is your own fault for missing out on it, because this is nothing new. Pre-ordering your books is nothing new. Going through Diamond, the previews catalog, it's nothing new. It's been around for years. If you're not doing it and you're missing out on this stuff, it's your own fault. You're a slacker. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean or rude or anything, but it's your own fault. Don't get mad at your LCS. They're in the business too. So those are my 11 books that I picked up this week that are new as I get off my soapbox. So I got one more spot on the wall, and it means that I can bring out another book from my collection. Something that, another book that has some meaning to me. And so this one I picked this week is one that I know in some of the groups I'm in, this book is sort of like a running gag for one reason or another, but it is a book that does have a lot of meaning to me. Darkhawk #1. And I'll wait for the laughter at the end, laughter at the end, laughter at the end. Okay, all right. If you're still laughing, you're not going to hear this. But if you're not, reason why this book has meaning for me is quite simple. I mean, it's not like an emotional thing. It's a sentimental thing. When I started collecting comic books in 1990, excuse me, it was with Ghost Rider. And Ghost Rider was what I like to refer to as a legacy character. He there was a book with that character in the 70s and 80s. It was a revival. It was a legacy character. I had checked out Fantastic Four on occasion, Amazing Spider-Man. Darkhawk was the first original character who had no ties to anything in the history of the Marvel Universe that I got into. And I wound up going through the entire run. Actually, I wound up kind of dropping the book, I think around issue 46 or 47. And then I found out that the series was ending. I was able to get 48 and 49, but 50, the final issue, was so hard to get. Years ago, I wound up finding a lot of Darkhawk books on eBay. They had issues like 46 to 50. So I wound up getting it because I needed issue 50. I wound up with extra copies of those other issues. Whatever, they're around here somewhere. But Darkhawk was the first original character they got into back in the 1990s, early 1990s. And so because of that, he's always had a special place in my heart and in my collection. So that's that, sappiness aside. So, sure you're seeing the box? Box means if you click on there, you get to see how my wall looks this week. If you continue, click on the box and check out the video, that's great. If you don't, still, thank you for watching. I feel I should be doing this in this part of the video as well. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share the video. And, as always, as I always say, when you go down to your local comic shop, always try something new. Even if you're going through the back issues, your back issue bin diving, looking for something. If you like the cover, grab the cover, read the book. You might enjoy the book. That's happened to me more times than I can count. That's how I got into Fables. I grabbed the first issue because I liked the cover. I wound up reading it a few weeks later because I had nothing else to read, and that became a whole huge franchise for me. So you never know. Sometimes they're hits, sometimes they're misses, but you're never going to know unless you try. So best thing to do, look through Diamond previews, look at the website, talk to people who are regulars at your local comic shop. We all have people that we love to talk to when we're down there on Wednesdays. Talk to the owner, talk to the employees, find out what they would recommend for you based on what they pull for you for your pull list. It's a great way to sort of expand your horizons, and it's a great way to check out some other great books, because aside from the awesome books that you do buy every week, there are some amazing books out there that you're probably missing out on because you're not giving them a chance. We've got some amazing talent in the industry right now, some amazing writers, some amazing artists, pencilers, inkers, letterers, colorists, some amazing talent right now, and we should be focusing on them and making sure that they're getting recognized. So that's it for this one. Again, click the box. It should be up by now after my long ranting and rambling. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. I'm going to stop this one, click the box, check out my wall. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, hopefully on Thursday this time. See ya.